This is Igbo Area TV.
Hello, welcome. This is an important show. A lot of people think we, the Igbo Area TV, are against the leader of the IPOB, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Never. We are not against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Quite alright, we don't belong to IPOB or MASOB or any of this group. We support the restoration of Biafra and we support all who are going about this restoration. However, some of the times we could differ on approaches. We might not like a strategy. And we also agree and accept that everyone is human. And as far as we are humans, we are bound to make mistakes. So that is it. We are not against the leader of the IPOB. No, that guy, that man is fighting a good cause and he needs support. The only thing we might, just like I said, we might not like certain things. That is just it. But we support the leader. IPOB has been the most formidable force in the struggle. That doesn't mean other groups have nothing to contribute. No. They have a say too. And we believe in them and we believe in IPOB too. And we plead with IPOB to accept other organizations, to work with them. There should be synergy towards this actualization of Biafra. And another thing I would like to, we've said it in a particular show, IPOB, IPOBians, please stop cursing people. If you don't agree with what someone is saying, you are free not to agree. Express it in a way that is civil. Yes, you don't agree with what the other person is saying. You don't agree with his opinion. Yes, you are free to say, I don't agree with your opinion. Must you curse people? Must you curse people because they don't belong to IPOB? No, I don't think it's a civilized way to act. IPOB must not thrive on cursing. I've had people say, Lord, please give us Biafra, but not through IPOB. The reason is they are afraid of intimidation. Some of them are feeling IPOB will intimidate. They will be so tough that so many who doesn't go with them during the struggle will be crushed. That is the fear. That's why they say, Lord, please, we want Biafra, but don't give it to IPOB. Because of they are afraid. They have watched how some of you in IPOB behaves, and they felt they are under a kind of threat if God should give us Biafra through IPOB. So we'd like to do a show on this IPOB leader. We'd like to look into him. The writer put this in form of a poem, almost like a poem. He started by saying, Nnamdi Kanu is not a god. The writer is Aga Ewu. President J.F. Kennedy said, do not ask what your country can do for you. Ask for what you can do for your country. It was an institutional shift of thinking in America. Instead of sitting down with their hands under their bottoms, bemoaning the government and the fates as they do in Nigeria, Americans were asked to stop looking at the government to provide for them, but to help their government and their president to provide for them. On a recent trip to Israel with Colonel Nwobosi to do a broadcast on Radio Biafra in Israel to begin the process of releasing his new powerful book, 1996, The Dark Truth, I had the pleasure of meeting Nnamdi Kanu. Colonel Nwobosi and I, myself, had been listening to this thunderous voice coming from studios of Radio Biafra, Israel. I did not see a lion. I did not see a colossus. I did not see a god. I just saw a man. A very simple man, free with ordinary people, and he carried no airs at all. As I tried to control myself from hero worshipping this man, a refrain started singing in my head. Nnamdi Kanu is not a god. I cannot call him my Lord, because I am never a slave. I am a loyal Biafran brave. Let's read the lines of this poem again. Nnamdi Kanu is not a god. I cannot call him my Lord, because I am never a slave. I am a loyal Biafran brave. So let's continue. We had been rehearsing how to hail him, but when he came out, words failed us. He came over to us. Colonel Nwobosi, a tottering old man, tried to rise to embrace him. He held him back, then embraced him, called him Nani, then helped to lift him up. I am a rather sick old man myself. Nnamdi saw me struggling with my walking stick to get up. He moved and offered his arm, and leaning on his arm, I stood up. Then he walked us to the vehicle that was waiting. It was not the car I had expected. I expected a luxurious vehicle, but it was just an ordinary car. Ohamadike opened the doors for us. The tottering old man then went and sat on the other side of the back seat, not in the owner's seat's corner. No airs. He took us to the hotel where he was staying for the night. It was not my usual standard of hotel chains like Best Western. It was a simple, clean, functional guest house. I thought, is this the man they are saying is squandering IPOB money? Yet I controlled myself from hero worshipping him as the refrain kept ringing in my head. Now listen to the refrain again. Nnamdi Kanu is not a god. I cannot call him my lord. I am not a Fulani Empire vassal. My leaders are not feudal. Listen to the lines again. Nnamdi Kanu is not a god. I cannot call him my lord. I'm not a Fulani Empire vassal. My leaders are not feudal. He took us to his room. I, a perfect stranger, yet he welcomed me so completely. For a moment, he became a human and revealed so much that made him human and not a god. Then suddenly he snapped out of his mental lapse and became Ohamadike again, efficient, bustling with energy and inner power, giving orders, mobilizing and running a global empire through his phone. I felt a sudden pride that this man opened up to me, and I had the privilege of a rare insight into his fears and the demons he has to fight every day to do what he does. Then he did something that really touched me deep. He said this in my room. You can use it for tonight. I will go and arrange a room for Colonel. Understand this. Ohamadike had just offered me his room. He gave it up for me. I stopped thinking about fancy hotels. I thought if Ohamadike can sleep in this low-grade hotel to save money for the movement, I too can sleep in it. He was serving us personally because we were elders while running a worldwide organization, calling and answering to IPOB in different countries across the globe. The desire to hero worship was getting stronger, yet my refrain sang in my head. Now hear the refrain again. Nnamdi Kanu is not a god. I cannot call him my lord. I'm not from Oyo Empire courtesan that prostrates before a man. Listen to the refrain again. Nnamdi Kanu is not a god. I cannot call him my lord. I'm not an Oyo Empire courtesan that prostrates before a man. The next day, he took us to a religious community where he seeks spiritual solace to draw the strength to do what he does. It was a peaceful place. There was an Igbo Jew in the community he appointed to look after us. Through the window, he pointed to the mountains where he said the ancestry of Igbo Jewry began. For him, Eri and Erori were not a theory, but a living fact of Igbo ancestry from Jacob, Gad, Eri to Erori. The Igbo Jew told us members of the community were aware of Igbo Jewry, but were waiting for them to wake up to their heritage by turning away from false gods. One very little incident happened there that let me look deep into the soul of this man. I knocked down some candle holders. He reacted immediately. Did your drugs fall? He asked. He was more concerned for me than for his broken furniture. I knew then without doubt that this was a true human leader. He was totally different from the callous Nigerian mold. This was the kind of leader we need to start a great new nation, Biafra. He was bridging a generation of young, fearless people with positive moral values to overthrow evil and clean ambitions to build an African Israel. But was I hero worshipping him? The refrain kept singing in my head. Nnamdi Kanu is not a god. I cannot call him my lord. I'm not a Bini Empire slave. I do not kneel and crave. Nnamdi Kanu is not a god. I cannot call him my lord. I am not a Bini Empire slave. I do not kneel and crave. From a religious lecture, I heard him encouraging the American IPOB family to raise money so things could be done. They were running a shoestring operation. I remember how difficult it was for me and Colonel Nwobosi to arrive in Israel. How members of the British family contributed to send us to Israel, and members of the Israeli family then took over. They all did their very best and truly honored Colonel Nwobosi, probably the last of the great Biafran gods. Ojukwu, Nzobo, Effiong, Madebo, Onwatogu. I was thinking how this man can run this enormous organization with such little funds. What about all those lies by Liar Mohammed that France was funding them? I could not believe what I was seeing. Was this man, this clean-hearted, harmless man, the monster that frightened them so much? They locked him in prison for 2 years, then created Operation Python Dance to fight him? Why was I succumbing to this hero worshipping again? The refrain kept running in my head. Nnamdi Kanu is not a god. I cannot call him my lord. Surrounded we were by kings, yet democratic in village settings. Nnamdi Kanu is not my God. I cannot call him my Lord. Surrounded we were by kings, yet democratic in village settings. The phrase kept hammering in my head. What J.F. Kennedy said, do not think of what your country can do for you. Think of what you can do for your country. I just realized we were in a total psychological mess. We were looking to Kanu to do everything for us. We were not even thinking of what we could do for our country. Then I uttered a phrase in my head. What about what we do for Kanu? Let me put the picture right. This was an innocent, unarmed man for which Nigeria thought it fit to send a whole army as Python Dance to fight him. They destroyed their homes. They destroyed their vehicles. They destroyed everything. Killed their people, even their dog. Froze their bank accounts. Somehow, all of us are just crazy. We are there expecting him to perform incredible wonders when he's not a god, when he's just an ordinary man. Am I making myself clear? Am I hero worshipping too much, but the refrain kept singing in my head? Nnamdi Kanu is not a god. I cannot call him my lord. We hail those that rule us. They deserve to be bulls. Nnamdi Kanu is not a god. I cannot call him my lord. We hail those that rule us. They deserve to be bulls. Kanu will give us referendum. Who is paying for it? Kanu will give us Biafra. Who is paying for it? Kanu will see all the parliaments of the world. Who is paying for it? Do not ask what Kanu will do for you. What have you done for Kanu? Since Python Dance burnt his father's house, have you asked where he lives? Since all their cars were destroyed, have you asked what car they are driving? Since all their businesses were destroyed, have you asked how they are surviving? Since all their bank accounts were frozen, have you asked how they feed? At this point, I began to regret my old age. If it was in my youth, the first thing I would do is to go and get Kanu a befitting car. I know he will reject it, so people will not say he's abusing his position. But at least I will leave it there. I know that one day he will climb into it. Members of churches sometimes do such things for their pastors. But really, I'm hero worshipping him. The refrain keeps singing. Nnamdi Kanu is not a god. I cannot call him my lord. We honor people of candor, reputed for their valor. Nnamdi Kanu is not a god. I cannot call him my lord. We honor people of candor, reputed for their valor. I know he's not a god, but it is time to say thank you to Ohamadike. It is time to stop expecting as if manna will fall from heaven and not give back. We cannot get Biafra by just expecting Kanu to solve all the problems like a magician. You cannot expect a man to give you the best when you are not giving him funds and tools to give you his best. Kanu should not be worrying about raising funds. We all should be doing it for him so he can concentrate on what he does best, mobilizing us to actualize Biafra. Colonel Nwobosi, who is very experienced military administrator as Ojukwu's director of operations, understood the heckling task that Kanu is facing and we included a very powerful line in his January 15th broadcast to quote, "However, it is money that makes things work. I shall donate 10% of all the profits of my new book to IPOB. It is my tithe to freedom. Tithing is God's tax to raise money for the government of the children of God. I urge you all to regularly do the same so we can have the resource to achieve our objectives." I've chosen to write this to open a discussion. Since Python scattered Nnamdi Kanu's house and sent them away, what have you done for them? If you wish to do anything, write to the family writers and to the Biafra Restoration Voice, TBRV, and tell them what you want to do, and they will direct you through who and how you can personally say thank you to Ohamadike. Expect him to reject it, but do so anyway. If he does not want it, let him donate it to IPOB. Let us listen to Konenwobosi and open up a discussion on giving 10% of our resources to ensure that Biafra comes into being. Let us become more practical and make more serious. Freedom fighting is not a joke. Kanu has given everything. Can we emulate him? Our fathers gave so much for Biafra in 1967 to 1970. Yet they failed because they did not have enough funds. We cannot go about this struggle without funds if we cannot tax ourselves to achieve freedom. Then we are not serious. Kanu is a good man. He's not the kind of leader that will abuse our resources for his personal gain. I have seen it myself. From now on, like Konenwobosi, I will donate 10% of my earnings to the Biafra cause. Who will join us? Step out from the crowd. We have to persuade the leaders of the IPOB to accept this new proposal. So there must be support from the grassroots before they will even consider it. I've written everything here on my own. I did not refer it to Ohamadike or to any of the leaders, so they will not have a chance to say no. They may be angry with me, but they know we need the money to actualize our dreams. For the few days I was with Kanu, I was watching him and thinking of his non-violent approach. I was thinking of Mahatma Gandhi, of Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela. A lot of people have been murdered in Nigeria by bad leaders. A lot of things have been going wrong. They are calling them bigger and lesser evil. But we Biafrans are so lucky that we have a man with a pure and formidable heart to lead us. A man who said we cannot choose between two evils. We must overthrow evil. We must continue. Nnamdi Kanu is not a god. I cannot call him my lord. Because I'm never a slave. I am loyal. I'm a loyal Biafran brave. I'm not a Fulani Empire vassal. My leaders are not feudal. I'm not an Oyo Empire courtesan that prostrates before a man. I'm not a Benin Empire slave. I do not crawl and crave. Surrounded we were by kings, yet democratic in village setting. We hold those that rule us. They deserve to be bought. We honor people of candor, reputed for their valor. We do not bow, we do not scrape, we do not cow, we do not ape, because we are Biafrans, my man, because we are Republican. But we will do the best we can when we become your fan. Nnamdi Kanu has earned our praise by his deeds and his ways. It is time to say thank you, Ohamadike Ndi Bodalo. If it is money, we will give. If it is life, we will grieve. If it is work, we will labor, for it is in our favor to see the rising sun sail above the horizon, to birth a new nation for a new generation. Unity is supreme. If we must fail, let us fail together. If we must win, let us win together. Udo dere nde shoro udo. So this is not an attempt at trying to worship the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. No, this is just a poem written by someone who is very concerned, who has gone close to this Biafran leader and find out that he is not what many thought he was. This was written by Aga Ewu. He said he went close to the leader and saw a very great man, yet humble. So we decided to share this with you. Bye for now.